Hey.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
Yo,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yo.
welcome back.
Oh, that's a warm welcome right there.
Mm-hmm. Folks, it's the Producer Lounge, episode 170. We're back.
TPL, baby.
We have audio, right? Yeah, we have audio, baby. We're good.
Everybody knows that the best podcasts are a 3-letter acronym.
Yep.
You know?
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Look it up.
Yeah, look it up, folks.
Look it up. Stats to back it.
Threes.
Folks, if you're new here, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Producer Lounge. We're here live on Twitch /always400official if you want to get connected.
Oh.
It's official. What are we doing here?
Sorry.
Yeah, what is happening?
We just need to go to Twitch so we can see what's happening here. Folks, our show here tonight and every night is about music production.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to sit here and talk about it and chat about things we've learned over the course of the last week and things we're experimenting on and tips and tricks and all sorts of things. If you want to participate,
sucks to be you,
fucking
dude.
comment.
This is about us tonight.
Damn.
Get out of
Don't
chat.
believe him. Don't believe him, chat. Yeah, hop in Twitch, ask us questions, comment, like, subscribe, follow, all those things. You know how social media works.
All the things.
Yeah. If you're on YouTube, just put a comment about a question that you have. We'll try and answer it.
We'll definitely answer it. Might not be a good answer, but we'll definitely answer
We'll
it.
answer it.
We'll try. If we see it, we'll answer it.
Oh, we're going to see it.
We gonna see it.
We gonna see it.
Apparently, Apple TV rewards are enabled on our channel. I just got a notification.
Thank
so
God.
Sub to
is that
earn
a thing?
rewards, guys.
Wow.
I think it's everybody right now.
Shh. It's just us.
Just us.
How's everybody doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. I got a new vape with the 400 logo.
Wow.
Look at that.
Self-promotion.
I paid $500 to get a custom 400 logo on my vape. So worth it.
Damn.
It's only like 60 puffs, but it'll be a good 60 puffs.
Oh, it'll be
Damn,
great.
Best 60 puffs of your life.
Exactly. On
Go
a
on.
real note, though.
Yes, please.
Yes. Do we introduce our guest?
Oh, no. Who is it?
Oh, who's our guest today?
who's our
Well,
guest?
folks, I'm
Oh.
glad you
Oh, shit.
asked. We have our homeboy, Warren In, back on the pod.
Hello.
Thanks. I feel like
He's such a part of the family, we forgot to introduce him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. He's the fourth member of he's the fourth co-host basically at this point.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
here.
like you got to be second place for amount of times you've been on the pod, like second under to any Heights, right?
Yeah, I was going to say Vic probably has
Right.
the record. Or John. No, I probably
No.
Vic.
I don't know.
John's
Vic,
only been
yeah.
on once.
Victor's the goat.
So,
John's only
Victor's
been
the goat.
on once?
yeah.
John's been on
Are we
once.
saying that to try and get him back on?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
he's only
was-
been on 0 times.
Yeah.
He's never been on.
Shut up,
Good dude,
restraint.
though. Good dude.
You got to be close though.
I got to be close.
You
got
gotta
to
be close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gaining up there.
Yeah, dude.
But what
Just
were you
goes to
gonna
show, Rise in the come hang ranks. out with us every Tuesday, and you might get on the podcast.
Um,
I'm always here.
It's true.
Don't break the illusion that I'm always here.
And
possible.
you get tacos too.
I do get tacos. We had carnitas. It was really
Goddamn
good.
right.
Mm.
It was
Goddamn
very good.
right.
Caleb's mom hooked it up.
Shout out my gay mother.
Instead of game fuel, it's just producer fuel.
Fucking yeah, dude.
Caleb's
Mexican
carnitas.
food. Mexican food is producer fuel.
Yeah,
100%.
Game refuel.
100%.
But what I want to jump into
Jump into it.
Yes.
is so funny. It's the simplest trick, and a lot of you might know it. But I was shown the light recently. I was working with Aeon Voyage,
Okay.
previous guest of the pod,
Friend of the
insane
show.
super
Legend.
producer. Yeah.
Yep. Shout out.
And we were making a track together, and he was like, "Oh, let me do this like D&B trick that all the D&B guys do." And you just take a break on your little fill section, add a bandpass filter, and sweep it up. Start low, go high, and it adds the sickest little sauce to your fill sections. Because we've all done the like breaks in the fill section, and that's cool. That's great. But if you want like just a little bit more spice, you just give it a little filter movement. Yeah.
Especially in like a breakdown or something like that. I feel like that would be a really nice
Especially in a breakdown, yeah.
Yeah,
or
you
even
like-
use anywhere, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice.
and then just kind of fade it into some delay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Something interesting I noticed though was you don't get the cool part of the effect unless you like boost the resonance of your filter a little bit. We did a little A and B. Yeah, when you just bandpass it, it sounds like, just a regular like unadulterated virgin bandpass,
Right.
Yeah.
Did you say virgin?
I did
Oh, okay.
say virgin.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Be careful. That's explicit language. Sorry,
I mean,
guys.
We're on Twitch.
it's not a minor bandpass. I feel like it's fine.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Might be a major bandpass.
A
Whew.
major band pass.
Major bandpass.
Reporting for duty.
But something about literally, just the resonance, boosting that peak so you get extra emphasis on like where the top is through it.
Right,
Like that's what fucking makes it.
I'm
That's
gonna
what makes
I'm gonna
it.
caveat that by saying put a limiter after that.
Yes, I would say that too.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Because you can clippity clip the channel there. Not that it really matters because 32-bit floating point, but to be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
Add a limiter on there, guys. Don't.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't need to hurt yourselves.
I mean, when do you ever use a filter and then not put either a clipper or a limiter after it?
Absolutely.
Amen, brother.
When you haven't been
Always.
producing for at least 2 years.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Always
always.
end with a limiter or a clipper.
Yes.
Yes, especially when you're like doing crazy moves like that. Anything with resonant peaks, anything with a bunch of distortion, or if you're boosting on an EQ or anything like that, like always clipper / limiter at the end.
Never a compressor though.
You could have you could
Fuck
have a compressor. I've been using compressors a lot more, honestly.
I honestly have been too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was on that for a while, the whole like I don't use compressors. I just use saturators and clippers, dude. I
It
don't
also
use any of
depends.
that.
Like I've been making things that require a little more compression as of late,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of toying around with them to see how much like goose I can get out of them. And it can oftentimes help when you get down the line to a limiter or a clipper if you have it a little bit compressed. But it kind of depends on what it is.
Yeah. I like compressing drums a lot.
Sure.
I really do, especially just like the Ableton glue compressor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. The soft clipper on it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy that.
Right.
Yeah. A good parallel compressor is always a good time. Also, parallel.
Parallel.
You know what's real good, folks?
You know what I like?
Shoot fire.
Fucking perler.
That parlor
Parlor. Guys,
Parlor.
I'm not done talking.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have
Fair
special
enough.
guest Taboo on our pod
Taboo,
tonight.
hey guys.
Little Texas.
How's it go? Yeah.
A parallel saturator is pretty fun.
Ooh.
Like you have some drums and you slam them and then you fucking group it and fucking put a
Little
parallel on
noise
there.
level lift
Yeah, it's pretty
of sorts.
pretty good time.
I learned a new thing with Parallel recently where I was watching this stream that John Casey did.
Oh, shout out John Casey.
John Casey, legend.
Send a link.
Send
I'll
link.
definitely send the link. He was doing a thing with his bass, which I never thought of, is like splitting it so that like you have your highs and then your lows on it. But what he was doing, which I've thought like done stuff like that before, but on the highs, like having like an imager on it and like widening the highs of the bass a lot instead of just like so it doesn't affect your low end whatsoever. It was just something that I've been playing with a lot lately. Is like adding chorus to the top.
Exactly. I was
Or
gonna
like
say
adding.
I do that with the chorus all the time.
It sounds because I was wondering for a while why my basses didn't sound as wide as I feel like they should have. Especially like when it came to sub, I was like, how are they doing that without affecting the mono signal?
Yep.
But it's
multiband.
Multiband.
Yeah.
Or just like literally just splitting them like in half, you know.
Yep.
Well, because he's basically doing a makeshift multiband. Because especially if you do the mids as well, then you can just process them all individually.
Yeah, you could do a parallel. You could do a little parallel fucking anything to widen and then just use a linear EQ after it and take out the low end and then just mix it in as you wish.
Yeah.
That's another way to do it.
for those that don't know, can you explain why you would want to use a linear EQ?
Oh, that's a good question.
What do you mean by linear EQ?
There we
Not
go.
that I'm not that I'm one of these people that don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
only use linear EQ.
Oh, dude, I invented linear EQs.
EQs will just affect your phase.
Correct.
Linear does not affect the phase. So if you use a regular EQ on a bass to cut out low end, what you might be adding is like some shitty fucking phase issue, and then your waveform is just different. It's either
not as strong.
Right, especially if you're
Or it's just
hard
very-
EQing it.
like changed. It's like shifted over in a different direction,
Right.
which will make it different than what it was before, which in low end terms, it's like
A big,
very,
a big
very,
issue.
very important.
Yeah, when it comes to low end and when it comes to transient heavy things
Right.
like drums, like you don't want to just like high pass your kick drum with a regular EQ because you're just gonna phase shift the fuck out of the bottom end. And it's
I
not-
like a shelf for
Yes,
kicks and
good
for
call.
sub as well. I like a little bit of a shelf.
Pro Q. Shout out FabFilter Pro Q3.
The best.
There's a button on the bottom left that you'll see, and you can click on it and change it to linear.
That's nice.
Bottom like middle
Yeah,
left,
it's like
not
middle
full
left. No, it's
yeah.
not far left. It's like from center. It's just right to the left of center.
It can be confusing because there is a
Guys.
button on the
Yeah,
bottom
but
left,
just look at the bottom. There's only like 5.
and that factory
buttons.
resets your computer. Don't click that
Wow.
bottom left one, the full bottom left. You don't want to click that one.
Dude.
But
Thank
here's a quick tip. Do you guys know that when you're in the DAW, if you hit left Alt and F4, it'll like boost the transients?
Oh, that's cool,
Yeah,
man.
dude. Yeah,
That's cool,
it's
man.
fucking
Holy
crazy.
shit! You should all go try that
No,
right
don't,
now.
guys. Don't,
Dude,
don't.
do it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That closes any program you have open.
And then they just stop watching the pod and they're like, I don't need to go back after that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how you lose retention time.
That's how you lose retainers.
Yes.
Something you should experiment with, AT, something we've talked about maybe once or twice on the pod, is now that you've been playing with this concept of only processing the highs in a stereo image kind of way.
Yeah.
It's really fun if you build a little rack that gives you, let's say, like 5 different options on how you can process a stereo image. And you can set your rack up where it's just one little macro, and when you scroll through the macro, it chooses like, oh, chorus for this one, or like ozone imager for this one, or Haas effect, and it's just a quick little like you throw it on, kind of see what sounds good in your mix. I've been playing with that the past like I don't know whatever amount of time since John turned me onto it, and it's been fucking sweet.
That is sick.
Yeah.
I've even been doing a thing lately which is probably dumb, but we'll see. This is the Producers Lounge. It's a time to
Yeah.
show people that even us producers are dumb as shit.
It's a safe space. We can talk about our
safe space.
dumbness.
It is
But
a
I've been
safe space.
using
Speak for
the
yourself.
but I've been using the RL, because you have this too. It's like the resonant language, just like so. I'm basically EQing without looking at it visually 90% of the time
Isn't that
because
the
it's
best?
like there's like a high pass and a low pass,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even pull it up visually most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like I want this cut around like 150, and that's kind of it. I don't
Yeah.
even look at it for some reason.
And then
I probably
you play with
should.
it. No, don't look. Don't look.
like-
I'm such an advocate for not looking at the spectrum now. Because you go in and you think like, okay, my producer brain is telling me like it's probably around 150. So you go and cut the lows at 150 and you're like, no, it's a little bit higher. And you just use your ears and now all of a sudden you're like 250, 300 and you're like, that was the spot I was imagining. Whereas
Right.
like maybe if you were just like, oh, let me look at the frequency spectrum. I know I'm just going to push it here, like whatever, call it good. But I don't know.
Right.
There's something special about not looking.
Yeah, you can just for a while you can just play with it and just hear it as opposed to like looking at it visually. In a way, like it's great, but it also can be a little bit deceptive in a weird way too.
I remember Kleb used to do this thing where you can like turn off the spectrum in EQ8 in
Yeah.
Ableton where you just can't even see where you're EQing.
Oh,
And you showed me that like it was like 4 years ago at this
yeah,
point,
that
right?
shit's the sauce.
Yeah, and
Dude.
I remember being so scared. You were like, dude, you should start doing this. And I was like, I can't commit.
dude, that's one of my favorite hip hop producers. This guy, Kalen Ellis.
Oh, shout out Kalen Ellis.
Kalen Ellis is sick. On a stream, he literally like pulled that up, and he's like, He's like, music's a feeling, and he just like turned it off. He's like, I don't use. He's like, I don't fucking look at numbers. He's like, what is this, math? You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
I'm like, let's go.
We're not in fucking math class.
Yeah, I'm like,
We're making beats.
Speaking of math, quick shout out to Burke Hates You.
Oh,
Thanks
hello.
for the follow, bro.
Thanks
And
for the follow, my
What's
dude.
up, boy?
he says,
what's up?
"What's the hardest genre y'all produce?"
Oh, the hottest genre.
Now, are you saying like what is the most difficult to produce, or what is the most like?
Oh,
fucking
that's a really
hard?
yeah. No, I heard.
Like,
I
what's the
read it as
hardest?
hard.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Not as
Like
difficult,
dubstep.
but it
Oh.
could very much be difficult.
Yeah,
I feel like he's saying difficult.
that's what I think so
Difficult,
too.
okay.
But Burke, if you could clarify.
Difficult. Okay.
Difficult.
We were
Difficult.
right. Good job, us.
That's a good question.
Okay, before we answer
We
that,
figured it out.
I have to know now, is hardstyle or rhythm harder in the sense that you were first thinking?
At first, that I was thinking.
Yeah. Which
Ooh,
is
that's
the harder?
very
What's the more
subjective.
Gabber. Hard
Right?
style like Gabber. I feel like that's the
Yeah,
hardest shit
I-
ever.
I
for
feel
some
like
reason.
I
that's
feel like I'm
harder.
leaning rhythm. 'cause
Hardstyle.
I know you're leaning rhythm.
Yeah. Shocker, right?
Yeah, it's fucking
Hard style is harder.
hard
Yeah,
as
I
fuck,
agree.
dude.
It does
That's-
have hard in the
'cause
name.
it's
That's
hard.
a fucking German techno. Like that's a fucking German rave kind of vibe. It's
hard
fucking gnarly.
and fast.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
think it's. a
Look
little
at the
harder.
amount of people that enjoy the music, and that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Damn.
And how many skinheads are there? Not skinhead as in like racist skinhead, just people who are bald.
Yeah.
Yes, there
throw
is
the
bald
fuck
people.
down.
Yeah,
there's
and
bald
go fucking
motherfuckers.
hard as fuck.
Not neo. Probably can't say that. I don't.
Neo-Nazi?
Okay, you
I
can't
think
say.
you
the
can
thing.
say
I
Nazi
mean,
on Twitch.
Can you say that? I don't know.
I mean, you should be able to say anything. We're in
Fucking
America.
Nazi.
He
Nazi.
says, I spent 9 hours figuring out how to make growl for rhythm.
Ooh,
I understand.
hard.
I also have spent 9 hours figuring out how to make a growl for rhythm.
I haven't.
I've been there.
So, from your guys'
Easy.
experience, back to his first question, what is the most difficult genre that you've tried to produce? Or do you think there is the most difficult?
Hmm.
My first thought. Now, go ahead.
Drum and bass.
That's what
is
I was
the
gonna
say,
first
drum and
thing.
bass.
Drum and
too.
bass. Yeah.
Drum
It's
bass is hard
taken
as
me
fuck.
like 5 years to be able to like sit down and be like, oh, I'm gonna make a drum and bass song now, and I still think I'm not very good at it. But compared to where I was like 5 years ago, thank God I've made it this far. 'Cause,
Yeah.
fuck.
I have a harder time making dubstep at this point than I
Mm.
may do with drum and bass. I always thought drum and bass was the hardest.
Oh, wait,
'cause
is
that
the-
was like the cliche hardest
Right.
all through my producing years with the homies or whatever.
It shouldn't be frozen.
We're not frozen on my app, so that's on your computer, bruh.
Oh man. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's true. Mine
refresh,
isn't
my friend.
showing us frozen either.
Yeah, DMB. I don't know. They're all hard in their own weird way.
I feel like DMB is hard as fuck. For me, well,
Yeah.
but for me too, like dubstep is hard as fuck too.
Yeah.
I would say, or anything really melodic too.
Mm.
Anything where you have to write a bunch of chords and melodies and stuff, that's hard as fuck. It takes a lot longer because you can't rely on like one sound as like it's a different like you have to. It's a different writing process where you're having to write chords and melody. Like I don't know, it's that stuff is way harder. Like it's so much easier if I can just throw an 808 on something that's really fat, and then I'm like, oh, this sounds cool already.
Just make an atonal. It's
Yeah.
on E, just doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Dave at the moment. Like, drum and bass halftime is super fucking hard to make sound good. Like, you can just, like, make a beat and, like, throw a wub over it, but, like, getting to, like, the 90%, like, oh, this is fucking good
This is like a
so
sick
hard.
fucking banger fucking
Yeah.
halftime tune.
It's so hard because it's slower than dubstep and it, like, requires a
Is
little
it?
more finesse. Yeah.
It's like 140. Oh yeah, you're right.
I
Because
mean,
a lot
it's
of dubstep's like 90, isn't
Halftime
it?
drum
Shit like
bass
that?
is
Nope, I'm completely wrong.
172 or whatever.
Yeah, halftime DMB
174.
is faster than dubstep.
Oh, well, yeah. No, I guess that's what I mean. Because it's faster than dubstep, you can't just rely on the boom, ga, boom, ga. Like, you have to almost either lean into a hip-hop vibe
Yeah.
or something else, which is also difficult as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is where a lot of like the boom bap left field guys like Tipper, Jade Cicada, Detox, Resonant Language, they all lean into that because naturally that tempo just kind of fits a little bit better than the dubstep just boom cut like 4 on the floor beat type thing.
Right.
Like it's weird at that tempo. It does work, but something about like you just add a little bit more groove in there, and then it grooves way better. It feels livelier, but then it's hard because you have to work with that groove on everything now, and it's a weird headspace to get into.
Oh, Burke, he's talking, he says, I really have respect for Skrillex. Bro switched his
Who
whole
is that?
vibe, and he's still the best bass producer. Burke hates you. This is the guy we're talking to.
I don't know Skrillex. I don't think we've ever
Oh, ew.
heard that name before.
Ew, I don't know.
Skrillex.
Is he must be some new up and comer. Yes.
Skrillex.
Skrillex?
We actually were, Austin and I were just, we actually talk about this a lot.
Skrillex, dude.
Skrillex just like changes his whole vibe.
Yeah.
And like, it's
Multiple
one of the
times.
most inspiring things
Yeah.
as a music fan and as a producer. Like, it's just cool to see somebody that at that level that can play with it a lot and still make really cool stuff and keep engagement, which is crazy.
That's
too.
what I was just gonna say. I don't think it's that crazy for someone to just experiment with genres when you've been doing it for 20 years, but to be able to experiment with genres and then keep getting more popular from it, that fucking blows my mind. And
Yeah.
that gets me really excited to be like, okay, maybe it's not super weird to make a bunch of different genres. Like, that's inspiring.
Well,
Love that shit.
I feel like at a certain point you have to evolve with the times that you're living in. If you're working in a genre or a framework that's outdated, I think you have to somehow keep evolving and keep yourself relevant. And I feel like that's why like Skrillex, Boys Noise, like guys like that are still relevant after all this time, is because they're paying attention and they're still like
Yeah.
challenging themselves constantly. Or like Tice as well. Like I feel like
100%.
they're not like, once you get too comfortable in what you're doing,
Yes.
you start to eventually people don't care anymore. It's a weird. Maybe I might be talking on my ass.
No,
too,
no,
I don't
you're
know.
No. This is the exact type of thing we like to encourage on this show. Be a fucking artist. Actually fucking try to make cool shit now. Try and understand what's happening now. Try and get your skills up to like a current level. Like one of the funnest things about the fucking whole industry is just you're all competing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Everybody's trying to make the coolest shit.
Yeah.
And, like, make the coolest shit, bitch.
Right. And
Do it.
on top of that, you can kind of add on that you should make, like, don't make stuff for the sake of trying to compete, though.
Yeah.
Like,
That's-
make stuff that you want to make, but also, like, be aware that you need to be constantly improving and, like, listening to new artists and new drops that come out, and you're like, oh, shit, this sounds crazy good, and this sounds, like, super high-endy, and this sounds like this. Like, try and drag those things into your own production, but also, like, don't sacrifice what you like to do. Like, still make what's true to you, because people are going to resonate with that. Nobody wants to hear shit that just sounds like somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
no fun.
It's a secret trick
I think
of competing is you have to fucking have your own fucking shit.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to be Usain
You gotta be
Bolt.
on you.
Welcome to the Discord, Burke.
it is
Thank
healthy
you.
to have like a hint of that competitive nature. Like, don't let that be the driving factor. Like, I need to be the biggest or the loudest or the most in your face or the most popular. But I think it's good to have like 10 or 20% of that in the back of your head in like a like healthy way, like a friendly competition way where it's like, oh, they did this, like that's sick. I'm pumped up. Like, let me see if I can get to that level and then maybe push it. I think that's healthy. But like, if that's the main goal is to just, I don't know, that's where it gets weird.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is inspiring to see people like break new grounds and try new things. So like that, it just adds more fuel to the fire to me. Is like less than like trying to be
Same.
better than them. It's like trying to like, you're like, okay, now I have like a new point to be inspired by, and I have like a new perspective on something that like, because without breaking the rules, production would get really boring. All of a sudden, when somebody breaks the rules and you're like, oh wait, you can do that. The minute that the rules get established, they got to get broken again, and then it gets really interesting.
I definitely do get motivated by trying to be better.
Yeah.
Low key. I mean, you got to do you for sure. You have to do you, and you have to do shit that you enjoy and make the moves that feel good, but also It's fun to try and be better. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Well, you can do both at
you
the
need to be
same
kind
time.
of there at the very least.
Yes.
You know, like even if you're not going to be better, you kind of got to be there, or else your shit's not as good.
Right.
You know?
But being true to yourself and being really good are kind of like separate.
Mhm.
Like you can make your own shit that you like while still getting good. You don't have to copy somebody just to get good.
Yeah.
But it does help to kind of like reference tracks and like try and like recreate them to figure out what they're doing and whatnot. But like, don't make covers.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
No,
I've been
no one
having
cares.
fun with either light referencing or no referencing, and just like when your back's against the wall.
I reference all the fucking time.
I for some reason now I have to like try. I don't have to, but I've been enjoying just like my back's against the wall, and I just have to figure out what to do without like
Sure.
knowing what
Sure.
to do. And then you end up like, for me, I end up doing something that I'm like, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'll do that
Oh,
like
yeah.
1 and 4.
right.
Like there's 3 tracks where I'll kind of like take 2 different references from 2 totally different genres and be like, oh, it'd be cool if like this riff was on something like this. And then that's how it'll start, and it'll turn into something totally else. But then like 1 and 4, I'll just be like, let's just start with a kick drum and just put it in a weird pattern and see what happens.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and
Which
I
is pretty
think
fun.
I do like reference structurally a lot, like the way people structure songs. But then like once they have like an idea,
Sure.
I'm like, oh fuck, I got to figure out my own way to get there instead of like.
Well, that, and as you get more and more familiar with DJing, the arrangement, the overall arrangement gets a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I know I'm going to want like 32 bars of like nothing really at the intro,
Mhm.
at least for like a non-release, so that it's easy to DJ. Because I
Right.
don't want to make a song I'm stoked about and then bring it on the decks and be like, fuck, there's no way to get into this song. Like,
Yeah.
God damn it, this. Fuck.
Yeah, like you need to be a producer that is aware of DJing
Yeah.
and be like, it's cool to be a bedroom producer where you're just making cool shit, but you also have to like in the back of your mind be aware of like, how is this going to sound live, and do you want other people to play your tracks out? If you make your structure so that,
Especially if you're making stuff that is supposed to be played out live.
Yeah.
Like if you're making like bedroom pop, sure.
yeah,
Start with whatever the fuck you want. But like if you're expecting to send this to a label that then DJs will grab and play live, make sure there's some kind of fucking clean intro-ness happening and some kind of breakdown and some kind of exit so the DJs don't fucking have a hard time.
Yeah, it like in a way it kind of limits your creativity in a
little bit.
but I think I kind of like the limitation that it gives.
Yeah, I mean that's good.
Yeah, it's nice to have at least some limits where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to like having a breakdown is completely fine. It's like you need this in order to do
Right.
what you need to do as a DJ.
Yeah, and I mean you can not have a breakdown and just make a 64 bar drop and then just have an outro.
Yeah,
That just forces the DJ to play the whole thing.
that's another thing you can
Like-
play with is like if people really want to play out this song, it's like I'm gonna make them play it out.
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna
yeah.
like
They're
I'll
playing the
give
whole thing.
I'll give them a mix out point, but it's not gonna be till the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's a
Exactly.
great move
Exactly.
too.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a 3-minute song and it's just 1 drop, or you can make a
Oh,
4.5 minute song that has 2 drops, or you can fucking make it 5.5 minutes long and give them like 3 or 4 drops and like be like, play whichever drop you want.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I need
There's
to do
some
more of that.
there's some
Low
fun.
key. That is pretty fun.
Oh,
5 to 6 minute songs with just fucking 3 separate drops in them. Just give all the fucking juice.
Right.
Mhm.
Burks goes on to say, oh, he said something else. Hang on, I scroll
things
up here.
DJs do not pre-made sets.
That's
Oh,
something. Oh,
Dead
what the fuck? Well, that's not what
I'm not gonna go on a whole tangent about Dead Mouse. I have so many mixed
That's
feelings
not what I
about
wanted
this
to do
man.
either.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we
I
go.
don't listen. I don't like dance music.
Sorry,
That's the
Burks, hang
fucking
on.
last Dead Mouse interview I heard. Fucking goddamn it, that motherfucker. I like him and I hate him at the same time.
He
He's
Yeah.
fucking
says,
so annoying.
That's how
Uh,
everyone feels.
Yeah, that's fucking that guy. That's something I'm seeing with producers like
I just
Excision
like him.
and Sudden Death. Yeah, I just like that.
I don't like his music, but I like him.
Yep, same.
Same.
I don't like
exactly.
his music
Exactly.
either. Yeah.
They're making the same kind of sounding music, not doing any changes. It's good
Whoa.
to do what you enjoy, but they got a really repetitive. They got really repetitive sounds.
Austin seems to disagree
like
with
the
this
same song
comment.
every time. I 100% agree.
I agree
Austin
with
doesn't
Excision. Excision especially, I agree.
Yeah,
Same thing with Maruda.
there's
Yeah.
definitely a formula that's developed in the rhythm scene where, we all know it. You know it and you hear it. The one thing I will say about Sudden Death, to just be that guy that supports him for a sec, to play devil's advocate or whatever, the death's advocate.
I was gonna say the death's advocate. Yeah, that's
Nice,
that's the right way to put it.
He's at least like, he's very much doing just the fourth note rhythm thing, but his style, he's stylistically, I feel like kind of in his own lane. Like a bunch of tear out dubstep has become just like this like evil in your face thing, but I don't know. He's taken it in a direction where it's like I can at least see that he's like unique and trying to do his own thing in it. So I can appreciate that.
Dude, this guy's roasting you right now, honestly. He's trying, like, he's not a everything else. Dude, that's kind of that's a funny.
The one unique song is with Marshmello.
Dude, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
It's not though, dude. Go watch. He just posted some like live show or something, and it's very much rhythm. I'm not saying it's not rhythm. It's still in the formula, but like Sudden Death is very obviously a sound that's different from like Subtronics or Excision or Virtual Riot or like any of the main headliners on Lost Lands. Like he's very much an outlier where you can be like, oh, that's that sound. He's like some weird demon, like bit crushy lo-fi dubstep somehow or something.
Also, when you're at that level, like, you kind of want to ride out that shit for a while if you can. Because that's what people are there to see.
Yeah.
They want to see fucking Sudden Death. They don't want to see Sudden Death makes drum and bass.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Even
They
though
want to see fucking rhythm.
Although I would listen to Sudden
I
Death
think
drum
that
and bass.
this might be the producer
That's why you start a
perspective.
new project,
It's
baby.
like I feel like, okay, so you were going off of what I was just about to say is like, is it a burden to have a sound? Because like to me, once you have a sound,
of course,
all of a sudden it's like you want to like experiment and you want to do other shit, and then
It's a
people are
double-edged
like,
sword.
but you got the sound, dude. You
I mean,
got
you
that
can-
sound.
If you're
But
good,
I
you
love
can
that song.
you can push that sound around into different genres.
Yeah, which
But-
Tipper does great.
What I
Any
mean,
tempo, he can push his sound
yeah,
into.
but it's always Tipper.
but
It's
it's always
always
still the
Tipper.
Tipper sound,
Yeah.
right?
Oh man, but it's almost too much. Like,
yeah, for me, no offense.
at
I
least
know I'm fucking
recently.
I'm not offended.
Okay.
No. But I will say this. I will say this about rhythm and why it all sounds the same is you could easily draw parallels between it and techno. Because techno, it's just kick drums the whole time.
Mhm.
It's the same thing. It's just like everybody's got a slightly different flavor, but it's all built that way specifically so that it can be DJ'd in a set nonstop for dance ability. And rhythm is similar because all the rhythm DJs want to sit there and fucking chop on all fucking 4 decks.
Mm-hmm.
And if it all sounds wildly different and isn't in the formula, then it's much more jarring. Where if it's all cohesive and everybody understands the formula together, then everybody's slight little flavors here and there can stand out, but it's going to still allow for a lot of this DJ ability. And as opposed to techno, where it's more danceable, rhythm is much more just head bangable, but it still applies.
Yeah.
Like, it's still kind of the same thing. And I love techno. And I don't get angry that every techno song kind of sounds the same.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily get mad that every rhythm song sounds kind of the same. Because it's... The one thing is that techno is like 3 times its age as rhythm. Like, techno's been around a lot longer. So it has like this seniority over it. So it's almost okay. Where like rhythm, it's like, why aren't you evolving more? Come on, evolve more.
Yeah.
Because it's been evolving so much over the last 15 years. But
And
I
that's
like
kinda-
this guy's comments a lot. They're great.
yeah, this guy's great. You're great, Bert.
You're great. I love you.
Yeah, no, I mean you are right, but that's also just how like genres work. You know, think about punk music. All of punk kind of sounds like punk. All of rock and roll.
Why
all
why
of
is
metal.
tech house dying?
Yeah.
Why, yeah, because it all sounds. That's how genres
fucking
work.
Everybody
Same.
grows up. That's why.
Yep.
Oh, because we were talking about this one day. We were talking about legacy genres. One day.
What's a legacy genre?
No, me and you were having this conversation where it
Amen,
was
Burks.
like, like kind of like it's like techno, UKG, D&B. Like a couple of the things have been
sure.
around. Like genres that are like have been around for like 30 years or like
Right.
you know even more than that. Like where it's like they're kind of like a mainstay. No matter what the state of electronic music is, they're still kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
And they like vary in the terms of their popularity, but they're still there. And then they like go in and out of being popular all the time, which
Right,
is
and they
interesting.
branch.
They branch all the time
Right,
too.
right.
They're like foundational genres.
Right. Yeah. They are the bedrock, which dubstep is the bedrock of rhythm. And there are subgenres of rhythm, I would argue. I don't really
fun T-shirt.
I don't really know what they are.
Dubstep is the bedrock of rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Or would it say rhythm is the bedrock of dubstep, which is the bedrock of rhythm?
Oh, actually, that
You
is
know?
the most
Well,
accurate.
Because isn't
Technically,
rhythm like low
yes.
key like the
Reggae.
oldest fucking
Jamaican dub.
Yeah, it's Jamaican
yeah,
dub,
yeah.
which is the
Although
bedrock of dubstep. So that's hilarious.
It's technically dub. It's not called rhythm.
Yes.
That old stuff is just Jamaican dub. But yes, they would call it rhythm. The rhythm.
Rhythms.
They were just trying to say rhythm.
Right. They just
Yeah.
couldn't say
They just
it
did.
very
They
well.
just couldn't say it.
Yeah, that's why it's called rhythm.
They just had accents, guys.
Burke says, "Don't say that about rock music." Burke, I think he was talking in general terms.
Yeah, I wasn't talking shit by any means.
Obviously, Rush is the best.
but I guess it's also the branches are always interesting because when you talk about rock music, like we're not just talking about like 1950s rock and roll music.
Correct.
Like
There's
we're talking
so
about
many
like
different
psychedelic
branches.
rock and punk and heart like and metal. Like it's weird within that framework of rock music. There's so much that you can do. Then over time, I mean, now it's kind of running a little bit dry. I'm gonna be honest. Like rock music itself is kind of like, what's even happening now? What Imagine Dragons fucking sucks. Fucking horrible.
Are they? Do they count as rock?
I don't fucking know. That's what I mean. I don't even know what rock music is anymore. But like,
I am Burke. I am with you to a degree, though. Like, this is the really hard part. Is like when a genre becomes popular, everybody. I blame the listeners more than anything, not the producers. People want to do unique stuff, but typically unique stuff just does not sell. It doesn't get you the headline spot at Lost Lands. It doesn't get you even the fucking headline spot at Black Box over here.
Not in the short term.
Not in the short term.
Right.
It takes a very long time.
but you want to be like Mr. Wazo, and you get fucking headlining for being a weird motherfucker.
And
Yeah, but not like headline.
Yeah.
Right.
Like-
You're not a Skrillex headliner,
No.
yeah,
but even though he
like
works with Skrillex.
But every producer knows who he is.
yeah.
Like you get the heads, but like you're
except
not
the walk crew apparently. Oh,
Oh,
shit.
Boo.
shade on the
I like-
German boys.
Love you, walk crew. I just
They're all-
I had to.
Are you ref glasses guy or am I ref glasses?
I think
You
you're
gotta be
ref glasses.
guy.
What is
Did
that?
you sneeze?
I didn't sneeze.
Who sneezed?
What is
I don't think I
sneezing ref
sneezed
glasses
either.
guy?
I mean, I
So
sneezed.
No,
I
don't know.
sneezed out of my.
Burke said a thing.
I sneezed out of my
Red
asshole.
glasses.
Red.
Did
That
you
makes sense.
Did you sneeze? Or?
I didn't sneeze.
Oh, you didn't sneeze.
I might have laughed. I might have gone away to laugh.
I thought you sneezed.
No, Dave shit his pants.
I feel like we've spent about 10 minutes on genres and I fucking hate these conversations.
Really,
so
I love
fucking
them.
much.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I could talk about
and
this for
it's
the next
not
10
the
hours.
genre lounge.
This isn't the genre
It
lounge.
is not the
It's true.
genre lounge.
It's still production.
This is the no, it's
No,
not.
it's not. We're not talking about
Okay.
production.
All right, that's
Burke.
fair.
We've just been talking about random fucking bullshit.
Have you what have you been focused on with production? What is something
fair.
you've been struggling with production?
Doesn't produce.
Oh, are you
Doesn't
sure?
produce.
Are you just calling it? Or
Yeah,
are you...
I'm calling it.
Okay.
Wow,
I'm calling
that's dude.
He just came to stir the pot.
Burke, do you produce,
Uh-oh.
my dude? And if you do, what do you produce?
While we're waiting on that, we were talking outside about adding movement to things, like a little bit of wow or a little bit of pitch shifting kind of moves.
Mm-hmm.
What's your go-to with these kind of things? Do you guys like manually map an LFO to the pitch on things, or RC20 the fuck out of it, or what?
I have a fun new go-to
What's
that I've
your
been
go-to?
spamming in
Interesting.
every track possible. So we've talked about the old shifter split trick on this podcast where you put basically a frequency shifter at 50% and put it up to like 1 to 10 hertz and you get
Phasing?
Phasing.
like a linear phasing kind of wiggle.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing the same concept with UHBIK S, their frequency shifter.
Oh yeah.
And the cool part about theirs is they have a feedback knob, which I can't really like visualize or comprehend like what that's actually doing. Like how do you feedback just a thing pitching? But they did it, and it's so good. It's so much fun to play with.
Interesting.
I haven't fucked with that.
That's
oh my
cool.
god, it's super fun. And it gets out of hand very quick. Like, you know
Good.
how when you turn
Yeah.
a phaser up to 100% feedback, you just get the most harsh fucking like
Right.
it does that. So you have to send it to like 98%.
Oh, so
But-
the Burke is a producer. Sorry to cut you off, but
Okay.
just
Straight
to,
cut off.
Yeah, you really,
Sorry, that was
you
really
really
bad.
didn't
Dumb
let
thing
that
you're
breathe
saying.
at all.
I'm sorry.
Derailed.
Jesus Christ.
I'll be back here. I'm sorry.
Burke is not the most important person here. You're awesome.
It's
though,
okay. He's
Burke.
not a host.
And
he
You're
doesn't know.
and I was wrong. He does produce.
Apparently everything.
Yeah. So what does the
I did the
feedback
frequency
do?
shifter trick recently too.
Oh,
So,
okay, nice.
Nice. It somehow it just exaggerates the wiggles. It's the best way I can put it. Into
Sounds
like
about right.
a resonancy
Fun.
like I was saying with the like a phaser, if you put that at 100% feedback, you just get those really intense like resonant peaks. It does something like that
Okay.
with the way it's phasing linearly through the frequency spectrum. And
Interesting.
the best part though is you can't keep it at 98%. It's just too much. But
Sure.
if you have a big long boy sound and you automate the feedback to go more intense through the sound, then the sound slowly gets more intense and you get those resonant peaks, and it just sounds fucking so good.
Okay.
And
You gotta-
I've been spamming it so
Oh,
hard.
I'm
You gotta
not-
send me
I'm gonna
this
be
plugin.
fucking
I'm
with that.
interested.
Yeah, I can
Shout
show
out
you guys.
UHBIK.
It just like it's a little
UHBIK is
Jello
sick as
maker.
fuck.
It's like base Jello synthesis.
Well,
dude.
you know what I've been
Base Jello.
I've been having a lot of fun with is for some reason I was sleeping on this Ableton stock plugin for a long time, but Ableton's Echo, which is
Okay.
like kind of like almost like the dub
Mm-hmm.
machine almost, but like you were saying feedback, something that I like to do is like pushing the feedback knob really hard on the Echo and then having like a really short, like always, like I like setting the Echo not synced and having it on the time instead of having it
Oh.
synced, and then you
so
just
like 40 milliseconds or
right,
something
or
weird?
like even really short, like the milliseconds like really short, and then you just like boost the feedback knob and automate it, and then it just has this
Yeah.
weird.
So
It like
you're,
has.
you're making rhythm.
He's making rhythm now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait,
make a
wait,
rhythm.
wait.
Yeah,
wait,
that's-
wait.
That's the rhythm delay.
That's the OG rhythm tone. Is
Well, it's
exactly
the dub. It's a dub delay.
Which-
which going back to what Dave
right,
said.
right. It is.
yes.
We're going full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a plug. Like, just to like. Sorry, I know I shouldn't keep going back to Mr. Burke.
You're fine. We can go back
But,
to whenever.
But he was saying Echo is really underrated, and like, I do like. It was a weird thing where I was like, oh, it's just delay. It's like the same fucking thing, but like the
No.
algorithm is so good in that
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
thing. I really like it.
I have a specific dub delay. Shout out TAL Tal dub. It's
Oh.
free. It's fucking the best. Fucking one of the best delays ever.
It is so good.
I use it specifically for like a dub throw kind of thing when I need that because it has a filter built in with a resonance to beat the band. The
Yeah.
resonance is out of control, and
It is crazy.
you can saturate the feedback. You can switch
good
the left to right.
modulation,
Yeah, it's
Like pitch
crazy.
modulation on it.
It's gross.
That is gross.
But yeah, those are their own kind of delays that are fucking, as Burke said, underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also throw in M spectral delay in there. Fucking
Shout out.
goated delay that no one ever
I was
ever
gonna
talks
say
about.
I don't even know that.
Yeah, a delay that works spectrally, so processes every individual's frequency into a delay, more or less. But it's really cool because it has built-in little like envelope EQ type things where you can like send more of the delay into your 200 to 600 hertz, and then maybe drop it down in the 800s, and then bring it back up in the 2K or whatever,
Damn.
which is
Ooh,
pretty fun.
that's pretty
so,
cool.
So when your effect delays, like compared to the Ableton stock just filter where it just pushes to the mids, you can kind of control your filters. So maybe it like rings out into the highs and lows, or then you automate it and then it rings out highs, lows, and then warps or some shit like that.
Melda is like just continuously the goat.
I love
Dude.
Melda plugins so
Like
much.
they get just cooler and cooler. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They've been around for fucking ever too.
Forever. And they're rarely talked about. Like they're literally, if you're like a fucking technical nerd, like anybody listening to this lounge or on the podcast, like Melda is the shit for anything you'd need. And they go so in
It
depth.
is
Like,
so good.
yeah.
It's
to the
just, I
point
think
where
it's 'cause they're not fancy.
intimidating. I think that's why too.
Because they're like visually the worst. They don't look good.
Yeah, they look gross.
They look horrible.
Yeah.
And then, but at the same time, like you were saying, they're not flashy, but they're so utilitarian and great to use for what you need. Like,
Right, the heads know.
the heads know. Because
We know.
Yeah.
I do use their
speaking
shit a
of-
lot.
Speaking of Melda, I saw an AU5 like short on YouTube the other day where he's talking about cabinet, cabinet, and
Nice.
apparently you can drag any old thing onto there, and it immediately makes essentially kind of like a convolution version of it, but it's not. It's not a convolution in like time form; it's in frequency form.
So
Whatever that
it's
means,
like an
and then
impulse
it has like
response.
spectral smoothing that it can do as well.
yes.
And so you could basically, like, he dragged on like a squishy bass, like a chord,
Nice.
and it did a good job of like comparatively. He shows like a convolution doing it, and then showing the cabinet, and
Right.
the cabinet did a much better job. Very, very clean
Yeah, it's also got this.
sounding translation.
It's got some weird circular thing in the main view that you can like pull a little dot around, and it like will change where the tonality is happening.
Right.
Mhm.
It'll like connect different dots. It's fucking wild.
Dude, cabinet is the shit.
And cabinet's fucking
I did
insane.
not know about the like impulse response cabinet thing. That's fucking crazy.
You can just
Yeah,
drag
you can
sounds
just drag
into
and
there.
drop.
That's crazy.
Oh.
I
It's
know.
crazy.
I haven't
then-
fucked with it yet.
I
Low-key.
didn't even know that existed until now.
I'm telling you guys this as soon as I knew.
Yeah.
And AU5 already posted a video
Of course.
about it, so of
Go
course.
watch that.
Him and his fucking rat tail and his fucking glasses.
Dude, he's got a crazy
He's
vibe
looking
lately.
stylish as
Yeah.
Dude, he's wild as fuck. I
So
like him.
crazy.
Dripping.
He's an American.
Who?
No, dude. AU5.
That's true.
America.
American.
His-
Most important part.
Yeah.
His new look is pretty spot on.
Yep.
He's
He's getting that like Android Jones vibe. They're just becoming one entity that makes visual art and psychedelic bass music.
psychedelic.
And then they transcend space and time.
Bass.
No, that's cool as fuck though. I definitely want to play with that. It reminds me of the EQ, the Pro Q trick that John showed us forever ago, where he was all pumped on taking hi-hats and using Pro Q to like analyze the frequency spectrum so you get like insane peaks and dips, and then just throwing that on a white noise and then getting like almost the exact same tone as the hat. And then now you can like play with the individual frequencies to like make every individual hat different or whatever the fuck.
Dude, this
like
happens.
that vibe.
This happens with every John tip, though. It's like you saying that. Please show me what you're talking. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck you're saying right now.
I know
mean-
what he's talking about.
I
Yeah.
get what he's talking about, but I'm confused like when you would use that.
Yeah, well,
Like I'm just like
but
I
it's
would just use a hi-hat.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
I'm
Let's
not-
just use a hi-hat.
Yeah.
They already exist.
I barely
get it.
graduated high school.
I
I'm
could
not very
see it.
smart. I'm not very smart at all. I don't fucking
I could
know
see
what's
it.
happening.
Maybe you use a hi-hat that you like, and then you put it in there, you frequency match or whatever, and then you use different noises. Try out different noises to find like similar tones, but also different. Maybe the noise is more wide, or like
Sure.
Yeah, that
like
Sure.
there's some aspect of it that gets fixed by doing it this way.
that's what I got from it is like
It sounds super annoying.
It does
No, it's
sound
kinda sick.
frustrating as
and
fuck.
it's specifically I think what I got from him doing it is like
Pick a new
it's,
hi-hat.
it's not something you would like do
Exactly.
in the track you're working on in the moment. It's for like building your sample
Right,
base
right,
kind of
right.
thing.
I
Like,
don't do that.
I don't do
Which
that
you guys
either.
don't do, yeah.
No,
I do it.
I'll do it here and there.
I don't at all.
I could be better about it, but
You guys have my sample packs.
I know we do. We
Yeah.
do.
Dude, I had like a week where I was like, I'm making kicks now, and then I gave up on that
Yeah.
immediately. I don't stick to anything.
That's actually-
I just make new stuff for every song. I don't.
I don't even
don't
make
know.
new stuff.
I want to talk about that more. At what did you learn from your week of making
yeah.
kicks? Were there any
That's-
good
Oh.
little gems from that?
I guess just like because I was just making them an operator. Because
Let's
again,
go.
I think
Big
I
ups.
saw another tutorial where somebody was doing that, and
Mhm.
I think it was Decap. Honestly, was doing just
That would
like
make
making
sense.
kicks.
He's a god at that.
He's insane at it. But like, I guess it just taught me like just all the different elements that make a great kick. Just like the transient, and then kind of just like even just the base of it, like how long the length was a big thing that I wasn't even thinking about, and like it just made me think a little bit more critically about like the kick choices that I do now, which is a weird thing because I feel like the longer you produce, like it's weird how certain samples sound so different after a while, because now a long kick's like a no-go to me immediately. Same. And like a bad transient is a no-go for me immediately.
Bad transient, you just move on.
Or like, I don't know, it was just like, it's nice to know like how it's made, just because like, just in case I need to make it, or like there's like, if I can't find a kick sample that finds the song, like that works with the current song that I'm making, then I can do it myself. Which is kind of what I like about sound design in general, is just like, because like I'm gonna be a person a lot of the time that will just use a sample. Like I don't even. But if it's like, but at a certain point, if the sample just won't work no matter what I'm doing, or like a bunch of samples won't work, it's nice to know sound design just in case, so that like I can be like, all right, now I can like pull it out and like do it if I need to do it. Not like just. But I don't love. I wouldn't like what you were saying, like making a kick for every song would drive me nuts. I don't think I can fucking do that at all.
You get good at it though.
I would get good at it, but I don't.
It takes like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sure it does too.
That, and like, I like having it because I can get like 3/4 of the way through the song and then be like, oh wait, I need to adjust the kick.
That's fair.
There you go. Now it sits perfect.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to being locked into this one kick sample and I'm just fucked.
Or even
like,
when you...
That's fair.
You know?
That's fair.
When you develop the understanding of how to sound design a kick from scratch, you understand these concepts of like transient, body, tail. So then when you're going through like splice or whatever the fuck, like I remember at like 2 years I was like, why don't I like this kick? Like I like some parts about it, but I can't put into words why I don't like others. And now you can be like, oh, like the body of this sounds great, but this transient is just like non-existent. So like now I know how to fucking KHS transient shaper, or just splice in a new transient, or like
KHS transient shaper.
Yeah,
shout
dude,
out. Kilohertz.
Oh, I love. That's another thing that I've been doing lately that I didn't used to do at all, is transient shaping. I used to never do that at all.
Dude,
and
you have to be a level 4 at least.
Yeah, you got to
I'm
be
just
at least
trying
a
to get
purple belt.
less.
Yeah, purple belt.
I'm trying to get less dyslexic as a producer, like every day, where
That's
like
good.
I just
That's
like
good.
understand.
Me too, buddy.
More
Me too.
things, yeah. Because a lot of the time I'm just like, what?
That is a great way to put it. Which actually brings me to a little point. Kyoto was telling me today. He gave me a little quick tip.
Yeah.
Shout out Tom.
Of course.
Recent guest. I think we have the episode up on YouTube. Go watch that.
Yep.
He was saying, if you're not uncomfortable as an artist, you're not progressing. If you're staying in this zone of like comfortability, you're probably you're being comfortable and you're using all the tricks you already know and you're just chilling in that vein. So he was making a big point of like, fucking be uncomfortable, learn the new tools, push the thing, learn how to make a kick drum, do whatever thing.
Be sad.
Be sad for a sec.
Yeah.
That's honestly a good thing. As gnarly as it is to hear, like, it's really good for you.
Don't be like, oh, what I just made is the sickest shit ever. Like that's when you should be scared.
Yes.
Like, at least for me, when I get too up in my own ass where I'm like, this is fire, I'm like, is it?
Yeah. Being okay.
Now I'm scared.
Being okay with the fact that you probably suck is a good a good thing. Like, you push yourself a lot harder, because I feel like the minute that you think that you've made it and that you're really good is a bad moment.
Yeah, that's
at a
weird.
certain point. Like, what are you gonna do from there?
It can be.
Yeah.
It can't happen.
I mean, it's good to be satisfied with what you make, but like, know that you can keep pushing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Going back to the
make 400 more.
Make 400 more. Back to the Skrillex thing where he just keeps pushing himself and trying new genres and whatever the fuck. Like,
exactly that.
He's going out of his comfort zone. Like, he's known, or he was known as the fucking dubstep guy who blew up dubstep in America.
Yeah, he used
I bet
to
it was very scary.
finger drum on stage all the time. He would sit there and
Yeah. I bet it was scary to go out and do, whatever other thing he's done.
I'm a finger drummer,
Those
dude.
are some fast moves, dude.
Is this Fred again?
Oh my God!
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, Fred again.
Fred again.
Yeah, no offense to Fred again, but fucking do not like his music at all. It's good.
Oh,
He's really good at writing music.
There's a couple songs I
It's
like a lot.
just very chick music.
There's like, oh, yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
He's got like the Millennium crowd where it's
That's
just
how you get
girls who are
popular.
crying and
That's
you're
how
like,
you get
It's
popular.
true. It is.
It doesn't have enough
Be cute, make music for girls.
Yep.
It doesn't have enough booty movement for me. Like it's not the kind of girls
no.
that I want at my shows.
Well, true. 100%.
It's the, like it's a,
you want some ratchet girls.
dude, absolutely.
Putting
Honestly,
out, yeah.
I do want that.
You want some girls in like thongs just shaking
Dude,
it. on
I
the
He's
want
not
girls.
lying.
I
He's
want
not
girls
lying.
shaking ass.
He's
Like
not
there's a
lying.
difference for me. Like I wanted shaking ass.
Also, if you shake ass on
Jesus
the dance floor,
Christ.
you're not inherently ratchet. I would
No,
also just
absolutely
like to
not.
say that. We
But
support
if,
that.
But if you are ratchet, fuck yeah,
And if
you
you are ratchet, you're just
Hell
gonna throw
yeah,
down
like
harder,
we're not
so sick.
shaming at all. Like fuck yeah, if you're ratchet, like
Yeah.
good.
Uh-huh.
You're out at the club. Like what are you fucking? What are you
Get as
doing?
ratchet as you can.
Absolutely.
At
At
the
the
club.
club, you gotta let fucking loose.
Mhm.
You gotta wear the least amount of clothes as possible.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
fucking do some crazy shit.
That's why we
Whoa.
went to the club in short shorts last
Absolutely.
time we went. You know.
I feel like we're done. Are we done?
Oh, we're definitely done, folks. This brings us to a
Jesus
close.
fucking Christ.
Wow. Praise be unto his holy name.
Jesus Christ himself.
Amen.
Burke, thanks for joining us. Thanks for chatting. Folks, come and chat. Come hang out.
AT, you have a
Um,
lightning round question, dude?
What?
No, just
No. Here's my lightning round right here. Burks, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining the Discord, folks.
Great question.
Exclamation point Discord in the chat to find out where the Discord is. You can also go to always400.com.
Yep.
All the links are there. Give us a follow on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube.
check out our Instagram and TikTok. Sometimes clips will appear there.
That's true. They're up to
That's fitting.
to Austin
yeah.
to make.
Yeah.
Folks,
I'm really good about making them too.
this has been episode 170 with Warren In. Thanks for
Thank
tuning
you.
in.
AT.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for being here. He has a release that almost came out. It might be coming out independently. Look out for that.
We'll let
It
you
might
know
come out
next
at
week.
some point.
Bye.
Oh my God.